What's happening, YouTube? Cowboy here, and as with every Borderlands expansion, it's time to bring you the breakdown on all the new items that were added in with the most recent DLC. So to start things off, we're going to be going over all the new Seraph items that have been added, and then we'll work our way into some of the other goodies. But the first up on our list, we have the Nasty Seeker. So, nothing too crazy about this, except that the bullets seek in on people, which is awesome. So, yeah, Tor gun, always going to be explosive. As you can see, we got this this little skeleton dude right here, and we're just kind of shooting. And you got to have like a decent amount of distance. You can see like with these guys, we're just kind of winging it, and the bullets are making their way towards them. It shoots slow as fuck. Like right now, I'm spamming the trigger, and I'm out of ammo. I mean, God, these skeletons are so angry. They're like pissed off, but you can see that. I mean, it's all right. Bullets seek and hit stuff. Hooray! Aside from that, nothing too spectacular. You can pick this one up at the Seraph vendor, right in the middle of town, first town you go to. I don't even remember what the hell it's called. Let me see what it's called. It is at Flamerock Refuge. So yeah, go to Flamerock Refuge if you want one, and there you go. Anyway, next up on our list, though, we have the Florentine. So if you're a fan of the True Lane SMG, the one that does the shock and slag, but it also slags you, so that kind of makes it suck, think about this as like its big sister that has bigger tits and a better looking ass. We got shock and slag on this without slagging ourselves, so just no drawback. So as you can see, it's E-Tech in the shooting pattern. Pretty good amount of damage coming out. You know, I mean, obviously I got some ridiculous clip size right now for my Krieg buff, but I mean, overall, shock and slag, definitely something to look forward to on anything that you're running a bunch of elements on. Aside from that, nothing too crazy about it, but I mean, you get shock and slag. Be happy with it. This one also comes from the Seraph vendor, so for all those Necromancers out there that are looking to get their hands on this, easy to pick up. Moving down our list, we have the Omen. Now, to my knowledge, the Omen only drops off of the new Dragon Raid bosses. There's been some people saying that they got it to show up at the vendor. I haven't seen that, so I'm going to call bullshit. But, yeah, Dragon Raid bosses do drop this thing for sure. I can definitely confirm that. Pretty respectable damage. On top of that, we're going to be shooting out 9 bullets with each shot. And it has a unique spread in that we're going to have 1 bullet in the center and then the other 8 in a circular pattern, and it's going to pulse in and out. It also spawns in a variety of elements. Pretty cool shotgun. I mean, there's better ones out there, but it certainly packs a punch. And I mean, if you time it right, being able to get that whole spread to all group up and hit your skeletons at the same time, hell, I mean, that's always going to be fun. As you can see, they're not very happy about me shooting it, but either way. Cool shotgun to look into. Like I said, kill the dragons if you want to get your hands on one. But moving down, we have the Stinger. So, if I remember correctly, I think the Stinger was actually a gun back in Borderlands 1. Either way, if it was, this time it's back as a pearlescent. This is another gun that you're going to be able to get off the Dragon Raid bosses. And just off the bat, you can see it has pretty decent damage for a repeater pistol. But not only that, this thing also has ricochet like crazy. So you can see the bullets are going all over the place. Obviously, it's not something that's like, oh my god, this is the best thing I've ever seen in an outdoor environment, but on inside levels, you can certainly just spray this thing to your heart's content and fill everything full of bullets. Moving down from there, let's talk about the new Seraph shields. So we got 2 of them, the first one being the Antagonist. This one you get from the Seraph vendor as well. And I gotta say, it's just, like, all in all, this is a pretty awesome shield. I mean, we got a 50% deflection chance. If we deflect those bullets, they do 600% damage. On top of that, we got a flat damage reduction on it, which, I mean, damage reduction is always something that's going to be welcome in Ultimate Vault Hunter. And if that's not enough, it's going to launch homing slag balls at its attackers. So we're gonna let these guys hit us and see if we can actually get some of these slag balls to. I mean, they're really slow. Okay, so you can see the little slag balls floating around. It's like, yo, bro, don't hit my Vault Hunter. But yeah, pretty cool shield to have. Pick it up at the Seraph vendor. Aside from that, moving on. So we got the Blockade. The Blockade is another item that will drop from the Dragon Raid. As you can see, we got major damage resistance when it's fully charged, and moderate damage resistance when it's not fully charged. Now, in my testing, I'm not sure what exactly the game considers major damage resistance, but from what I've seen, when this thing's fully charged, a hit that I take from one of these skeletons is basically the same as a hit that I take when I'm wearing the Antagonist. And this one only has, you know, what is it, 36% damage reduction, so I'm not sure what major damage reduction is considered, but it doesn't really seem like a lot. I mean, maybe I just had shitty luck in my testing with it, but I don't know. Maybe someone else can find a way to make it work and make it all kinds of awesomeness. Either way, though, we got one last Seraph item, and that's our Shadow of the Seraphs. So extra shot chance. I think this one's actually pretty shitty because I've seen them around like 33% or higher. And this is something that you can really imagine how this would just be absolutely disgusting when you combo it with the right thing. I mean, you take a Gunzerker, you give him like an Ogre in one hand and a Butcher in the other, and then put this on, and then give him Inconceivable, and he's just like, wah, just shooting bullets all day, nonstop. Definitely a cool relic to look into. And you can pick this one up right at the Seraph vendor, nice and cheap too. I think it's only like, I want to say like 50 Seraph crystals versus the weapons, which are around 120. So definitely a steal, especially if you can get one that spawns at like higher than 30%. But moving on from there, let's go into our other weapons. So let me just yank these out real quick. Alright. So first up, we have the Grog Nozzle, the hot item on the market right now that everyone's talking about. So let me start off by saying that you get the Grog Nozzle from the Beard Makes the Man quest. You'll end up doing this down in the mines where you're hanging out with all the dwarves. And it's a quest item in that when you start the quest, you're given the Grog Nozzle. So don't turn in the quest, because if you do, you're going to get your Grog Nozzle taken away. That being said, I think the quest is a ton of fun, and I definitely suggest doing it, because you just get dwarves drunk, and then you lure them in front of a, like, basically giant trash compactor, and then watch them just get mashed into pieces. So, yeah, it's a ton of fun to do. But anyway, enough babbling about dwarves. The reason the Grog Nozzle is so amazing is because you get 65% of all damage being done while it's wielded is healed directly into your health. That's right. Now, if you remember the Ruby is like 8.5%, 9%, and I mean, we all know how awesome the Ruby is. Yeah. So take that healing and multiply it by like 7. And that's around what this is at. Like, that's fucking absurd. Like, you can get so much healing with this. Just to give you an idea, alright? So let's let these dicks hit me. Like, oh no, you hit me. Let me get you with like one fireball, and I'll heal back to full. If they don't put me down first. Fuck you, Skeleton Gladiator. So we're gonna, hang on, we gotta let one of these guys get us down. I'm gonna put on something that I can actually just hit him hard with. Come on. Just go through my shield and most of my health. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. Don't. Come on, one more. Okay, so I have almost no health. I got this thing out. Grenade. Boom! Full heal. How sexy is that? Anyway, that's enough talking about the Grog Nozzle. Actually, before I say that's enough talking about it, the one other fun thing about this is it's always going to spawn at Slag too, which, you know, everyone gets all, they're like, oh my god, I need to get a Slag Ruby. Well, you have something that has more healing than the Ruby, guaranteed to spawn in Slag. On top of that, ridiculously high elemental chance to Slag. I mean, the bullet spray is a little bit weird. You know, we're shooting like pink puffy clouds. It's like, I don't know, the back end of this gun is like, I don't know, Happy Unicorn's asshole, and it's just shitting out happy farts or something. But either way, ton of Slag, ton of healing. Now, the one thing I should mention about this is because it's a quest item, every time you reload your save, the gun's just going to kind of change around a little bit. So you might have one that has a melee blade, you reload your save, and all of a sudden it has like a double shot, and you reload it, and then it has an accuracy bonus. So you can't count on it always being like, oh, I got the melee Grog Nozzle, because it might just end up switching up on you. But either way, definitely a gun to get your hands on. Once you get one, don't turn in the quest, and you'll be a happy camper. So moving down from there, we have the Ogre. It only took them 4 damn expansions, but they finally gave us a new legendary. And the Ogre is from Borderlands 1, and I gotta say, this time around, this gun is just brutal. So to get this, you basically have to maximum level up one of the Orc Warlords. You first encounter him in the mine, and a really easy way to do this is when you go to like the Magic Arena of Slaughter, in the 5th round, one of them will spawn, and you just let him get all beefy, and eventually he'll turn into like Warlord Slog or like Orcish War Master or some bullshit. And when you kill him, he has a chance to drop this. Now, it's always going to be explosive, so Torque fans, you're about to have like hard-ons for this thing, because we're talking 100% splash damage on all of your shots. That's just a start. Every now and then the bullet speed just like doubles. It has a chance to just kind of fire 2 shots at once. And if that's not enough, sometimes it just randomly fills up ammo. So similar to how you can just kind of shoot the butcher, and then it's just like, hey, we're about to run out of clip, so I decided to just toss ammo into there. This thing does the same thing. So yeah, this reanimated skeleton. Oh, hang on, there we go. I had the ruby effect was not the ruby, but the Grog Nozzle was fucking up. That's actually something I want to mention real quick too. Every now and then, when you shoot the Grog Nozzle, your character will basically become drunk, and you'll know, like for the drunk thing, you'll see instead of shooting like 1 straight bullet, you'll get like this pattern of like 5 or 6 that start to happen. For some reason, it just doesn't want to happen right now. It's like, no. It's like, you're talking about me doing this, so I refuse. But I don't know. When it happens, you'll see it. You'll shoot 6 shots out instead of the 1. And when that does happen with the Grog Nozzle, you can switch to another weapon, and that effect stays for a limited time. So it's kind of broken with certain weapons. I mean, you saw it right there when the Ogre, I ended up shooting like 6 Ogre shots out instead of just the rapid fire 1. But either way, let's actually blow something up with the Ogre. You can see that this thing is just kind of like drilling bullets out, tons of damage. I mean, with like something that boosts explosive damage, this would just be all kinds of disgusting. I mean, this might be one of my new favorite assault rifles. We'll just leave it at that. It's sexy, it does a ton of damage. Everyone loves explosions. I don't know what else can be said about it that hasn't already been said. It's awesome. Get yourself one. See how it like starts off slow and then it's just like, oh, just kidding, I'm just gonna destroy everything's face. But either way, moving on from there, let's talk about the SWORDSPLOSION. So the SWORDSPLOSION is basically like a sword and a gun and a MRV grenade all had a baby, and this puppy popped out. So right off the bat, you can see we're looking at about 300,000 damage. Pretty sexy for a shotgun. And the way this is going to work is when you shoot it, you're going to shoot a sword, and then that sword is going to split into 3 more swords, and it's just explosions all over. Like, Mr. Torek has a huge hard-on for this thing. He actually helped design it. You can see our swords going all over the place. Massive amounts of explosive damage. I mean, you get an explosive relic and grab yourself one of those, and then an Ogre, and you're just a happy camper. But, yeah, pretty cool. You get it from the... I'm trying to remember what the name of it is called. Ah, yes, the Sword in the Stoner quest. So, after you get Rollin from the camp, if you didn't know you get Rollin in this DLC, I spoiled it for you. Well, too fucking bad. You shouldn't be watching Weapon about all the videos. But go talk to Rollin over in the Flame Refuge after you've like first met up with him, and then he'll have this quest for you. And then you get this as a reward from it. So it's easy to get, ton of damage, definitely something to look into. Following that, we have Moxies Crypt, which for all those shock necromancers out there, your panties are going to get all wet over this one. So we of course have the basic Moxie healing that we see on like, the good touch and the bad touch and all that shit. But the thing you'll notice is this thing, think about this as like a shock hellfire. As you can see, we got over 21,000 damage electrocute per second, which is just absolutely absurd. So definitely a mean gun when it comes to elemental damage. Now, the one downside to this is you'll notice the flavor text is, slippery when wet. Basically, as you're using this gun, when you reload it, sometimes it'll just randomly slip out of your hands. So, definitely take care as you're using it. I mean, the last thing you want to do is like be in the middle of a fight and then you accidentally, as you go right there, you can see I went to reload and it was just like, bloop, just kidding, I'm going to fall out of your hands. And now I'm surrounded by a bunch of these fucking skeletons while I'm trying to grab it. And they're like, no, you can't have it. Okay, finally got it back. Jeez, these guys are dicks. But yeah, tons of shock damage. Pretty awesome. Aside from that, what else do we have up in our lineup? Ah, yes, the Orc. Now, the Orc, you get that same, wizard monster hellhole I talked about that you can do after you've beaten the campaign. In round 5, you'll get this as a reward. It can spawn in a variety of elements, and nothing too crazy about it that I've seen so far. I mean, I feel like there's got to be something that makes this, like, ridiculous. I mean, in testing it earlier, I noticed every now and then it would just, like, the firing speed would just suddenly double, and it would gain a ricochet effect temporarily. I mean, it can spawn in a number of elements, so that's always something that's welcome, but aside from that, nothing about it that seems really too crazy. I mean, you can see the bullet speed just kind of jumped up all of a sudden, so I'm not 100% on the dynamics of this one, like if there's anything super hidden about it that I just don't know about, but overall it's a decent SMG. I mean, it's not going to blow your mind, but whatever, check it out. So, moving off from that, what else do we have? We have a bunch of grenades, and I gotta say, the grenades are probably the best thing about this new DLC. So, there's a magic missile, there's a lightning one, and there's a fire one. So to start off, let's play around with the chain lightning. So, we're gonna take out our Grog Nozzle just to get some heals here, and as you can see, boom! We hit one dude, and the lightning is just like, yeah, let me just molest everybody at the same time. Look at it, just jumping all over the place. Absolutely love it. So just to take a quick look at it, as you can see, we got a pretty respectable grenade damage, around 200,000, 83,000 almost electrocute damage per second. But the coolest thing about this is we are slowly regenerating grenade ammo over time. Like, the fact that you have a grenade that just regenerates grenades for you, how is that not the most awesome shit you have ever seen? So, definitely got to grab one of these. Now, there's going to be these like badass mages that you'll fight towards the end of the DLC. The badass shock mages, they'll drop this one. The badass fire mages will drop the fire one. The magic missiles one, that one comes off like astral sorcerers and necromancers, and I heard people talking about getting it to drop off killing dragons. I don't know about that, but maybe. And there's also shittier versions of these. So like, as this one's the chain lightning, I also managed to get a regular lightning bolt during my playthrough. Very similar, except as you can see, it's just one straight lightning bolt. We don't have the awesome chain lightning effect that the other one has. So obviously, you want to try and get the legendary variants of these, but regardless, it's a grenade that's definitely worth hanging on to, just for nothing else, for the fact that it regenerates grenade ammo over time. But moving on from the lightning bolt, we have the firestorm. Now I don't have a fireball on me, but it's basically the same as the firestorm minus the AoE. With the firestorm, as you saw right there, I like throw it out, and there's an explosion, and then there's this like AoE rain of fire. The fireball does the same thing, except without the AoE rain of fire. This also has the grenade regeneration over time. So, yeah, pretty fun. I mean, on top of that, the damage on this thing is pretty dirty. Similar to the other one, you know, we got relatively high burn damage per second, pretty good amount of just outright damage when it hits. But I guess the real I guess golden goose here is the magic missile. Now, I only happen to have it 2 times, but I'm hearing people talk about having this in 4 times, and this thing is all kinds of dirty. Because right here, we're looking at almost 200,000 damage on each of these magic missiles. And this thing basically spawns little mervs that fly around, seek out your enemy, hit him in the dick for a ton of damage, and then slag them on top of that. Oh, that's not enough? No worries, it's going to regenerate your grenade ammo as well. Like, and you just chuck it. You don't have to do anything. Like, you just throw it out. And these are like, oh look, there's a skeleton over here. Let me go ruin his life for you. Like, how is that not amazing? That's just like, hey, skeleton, fuck you. Like this guy. Let's see how long it takes to recharge. I want to get another magic missile real quick. See how much damage it does to Mr. Skeletor here. There we go. We go out. Boom, look at that. Now he's all slagged and upset, and then we can just take out our Ogre and be like, "Wah!" and absolutely destroy it. And by the way, I've heard people having trouble with these guys. I don't know why. If you're having trouble with them, kill them. Pull the sword out. I mean, I figured it was kind of self-explanatory, but whatever. So, aside from that, the one other thing of mention is the mysterious amulet. Now, I still have no idea what the hell this thing does. I mean, there's some people that have said it like interacts with, it like boosts your relationship with fairies. There's people saying that it like increases drops or that it makes enemies miss more. I don't know. I'm sure a month from now people have figured it out and they'll be like, oh, when you and all 3 of your buddies wear them and you have a circle jerk, your friendship level is maximum power, and then you can summon the secret raid boss or some bullshit like that. But anyway, there's a guy down in the lair area just called Miz. You'll find him, and there's a quest that you basically just talk to him, and you can like punch him in the face or buy this. I chose to punch him in the face, but luckily one of my buddies didn't punch him in the face and decided to let me dupe his. But yeah, no idea what the hell it does. Not sure what friendship plus 7 stands for, but either way, something to get for whenever I guess it's finally discovered what the hell this thing's for. So aside from that, there is also a bunch of new class mods. And from what I've seen so far, the class mods for each Vault Hunter, they have the same core 3 skills that can be on each. So for Krieg, for example, if I remember the class mods, it was like it's always like Salt the Wound, Blood Trance, and I want to say like Fire Fiend maybe. But basically the mods will have alignments that were similar to Dark Souls if you've ever played it. So you'll see ones that are like Chaotic Evil, or ones that are Lawful Good, or Neutral. And based on what alignments that class mod has, it'll modify the perks of it. So, like, and this is just an example, but Chaotic Evil could be something like reload speed and accuracy, whereas Lawful Good might be melee damage and weapon damage. I mean, like I said, I'm just pulling those out of my ass, but that's how it works. I mean, it's going to have the same, it's going to boost the same talents, but the actual bonuses that are on that class mod will vary depending on the alignment of it. And aside from that, there's also a bunch of new, basically vanity weapons. There's a certain queen that you rescue at the end of the DLC, and without spoiling anything about it, because it's actually a pretty awesome scene, if you give her iridium, she ends up giving you weapons. And I've seen them be blue, I've seen epic ones, E-Tech ones, I haven't seen any legendaries from her. But basically these weapons are just reskinned. So instead of your typical, I guess, boring looking weapon, it'll have like an emerald skin on it, or a citrine skin, or a rock skin. So, I mean, they're not really on par with, some of the legendaries that are out right now, or some of the Seraph weapons even for that matter. But, I mean, if you're having trouble farming, the really crazy badass shit, it's cool to have these just because it adds a little bit of flair to your weapon. It doesn't look the same as all the weapons usually do, but aside from that, that wraps up everything for Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep. Of course, there's new costumes that were added in for the characters as well, so make sure to pick those up. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoy watching the Let's Play if you watched that. And either way, have fun farming your stuff. I'm not sure if they're going to be doing any more Borderlands DLC. Maybe they'll end up doing a second season of DLC. We'll see what happens if that ever does. But until then, stay classy, guys. I hope you enjoyed the journey as much as I did. And we'll see you the next time I get a video going.